Hey there, DJ community. A lot of you know that I have my Weekend Handyman channel. Well, part of my love for building and doing different things came from the man who used to own this property. This was my brother-in-law's workshop. He was a cabinet guy. He did some construction and such, and he really taught me an awful lot of this over the last 25 years. With our time together, I married his sister, and that means that I get to learn from in a guy who's been doing this for his whole life. He passed away last July at the age of 61 due to a massive heart attack. Now, what this video is I want to encourage you, no matter what your age is, 61, 51, 41, 71, is that there's some things that we learned because Bob didn't have a will. He didn't have things lined up and such, and it became kind of my wife and my job to kind of put things together. So first off, the will part of it. If you have heirs and you have people you want things to go to, taking a little bit of time and a little bit of money, no matter, even if this won't be your final will, I get that. Putting something into place would have probably kept this out of probate. This particular, by the time we get this estate settled through the probate process, we may have $20-some thousand worth of expenses that wouldn't have had to be incurred if there would have been a will put in place properly. Unfortunately, there wasn't that, so it had to go through that. Secondly is passwords. A lot of us have different accounts. We have PayPal accounts and Square accounts and this, that, and the other thing, all these different. Every account has passwords. Having passwords somewhere where they're accessible, and then maybe having it somewhere in a spot where if someone is going through after you passed away and going through maybe in your desk or maybe it's in your billfold, I don't know where you'd put it, but having it so that people can find out and say, oh, his passwords are, to get into his computer is this, and then from here I can find whatever. Having it so that people can get that information and get into your computer after your demise, get into your different accounts so they can either shut them down, move money out if there's money still sitting in those. We didn't have that ability with my brother-in-law. He passed away. We didn't have any of the passwords. So there are some accounts we have not been able to access, and computers we haven't been able to access. So take a little bit of time, figure out how you can do this. And there's some online services available for that also. Just do it. There's nothing worse than having a computer that we think that there's potentially thousands of dollars worth of outstanding debt to be collected, potentially could have been, and we had no idea because we couldn't access the computer. We could hack into it, but that's not something that's beyond my pay scale, so it didn't happen in this situation. The final part is make a list of, if you've got life insurance accounts or you've got different accounts like that, get those listed down somewhere so that if a person, again, has to come in, and this is usually part of the will, but having those and have it available so that if someone like myself comes in cold and can find documentation and says, oh, here's all my life insurance policies. I've got a $10,000 one here. I've got a $5,000. I've got a $100,000, whatever it is. Having those policies there. And then if you've got bank accounts and investments in different places, having that information somewhere in a safe at home, that's cool. But having it somewhere contained and together is going to make it so much easier for your family to be able to put together the kind of the paper trail of your life as they have to come through afterwards and clean things up. Again, this was Bob's workshop. It was a thriving little workshop in our small little community. This is really the end of it. The property has been sold, the tools have been sold, and a person's life has been reduced down to basically one big garage sale. And it's too bad. It could have been avoided with having some of the paperwork done in advance. And that's really, I guess, from this video, what I want to encourage you to do is to take the time to do the things you need to do so that the things you've worked so hard to build up for your life can go to your heirs, go to the people you want it to, or the things you want it to, instead of basically the state having to step in and assign someone to be the probate person and the attorneys to do this and that and everything. And by the time it's all done, a third of your estate is gone because it has to go to cover these additional costs. This is John Young. Thank you for watching.